Greetings, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Two.
To have squads.
Yes, that's right. The one and only podcast on the web dedicated 100% to the greatest game in the world.
Advanced squad leader.
That's right.
I am Dave.
I'm Jeff, and we are
your hosts.
your hosts for episode 360,
Wow.
which seems a particularly impressive number.
It
359, it's like, yeah, anybody can do 359. 360, whoa.
I'll bet you Jeff made that same joke at probably $2.99.
Yeah, probably every 10
or $1.99.
every 10 episodes. Well, cheers, Dave. Thank you for this. We're drinking Guinness. I'll clink and drink. After a long day, I got to tell you.
You got to suck the foam out of the beard, though. Mustache.
It was a long day.
You got to watch that. Good thing we have cameras to see our own faces. How was your day?
Well, it was a long day. And as I was driving.
That was the time change, right? It got long.
Oh, yeah, that too.
They added the hour or something.
Yes. Which was weird. We always struggle with it. Like, what time is it going to be tomorrow? And my wife and I, Robin and I, have been getting up and watching the sunrise. So we've been getting up at about 5:45 so we can watch the sunrise. And we thought, okay, what time do we have to get up now? Are we going to have to get up at 4:45 because it's fall back?
Yeah.
But no, we actually get up at the same time. It's just the clock is different. So the clock actually says 6:45. So while everybody else was getting an hour less sleep, somehow we're getting an hour more sleep.
Because you're self-employed.
From this perspective.
Right.
And I'm self-employed.
So you didn't have to be.
And I'm also self-educated, and it shows. So anyway, it was funny. And then just driving to work today was it's such a mess. And I just noticed today, it really made me appreciate Advanced Squad Leader, because it really occurred to me today, in Advanced Squad Leader, you play by the rules. You get 14 movement points, doggone it. That's how far you move. I mean, you can roll for excessive speed. Yes. But, your point, there's rules for everything. And when you're driving around Chicago, everybody makes up their own rules.
Well, there are rules, but
everybody breaks the rules because
how fast
they are important. They're more important than me. They can drive 80. They can swerve. They can roll through stop signs or skip stop signs. Light can turn red and they still will do that left-hand turn from the lane. They can do whatever they want because somehow they're important and they don't have to follow the rules. But doggone it, squad leader, you follow the bloody rules. And that's one of the reasons why I love the game.
Yeah, we had a car zip by us, and Laura's having a real problem with it. Because they come so close with their rear bumpers to the front bumper, cutting in. I mean, I can understand. I always tell Laura, well, the guys over there need to get out of the way of they shouldn't block the left lane. And
a lot of times it's not people in the left lane.
Oh, you're correct. That is true.
Sometimes people zoom around. I drive in the right lane.
Yeah. No, in fact, the right lane is kind of the lane to take because it's often wide open.
Not if I'm driving in it. You got to go around me.
When the trucks are in the next lane to the far right, they're in this next one because they don't want to have to go in and out to let people merge.
Yeah.
So they just kind of hit that zone, and they're always going at a consistent speed over the speed limit, but not crazy.
Yeah.
Like the cars, right?
The cars are crazy and they get close. They get very close.
And I've worked with some of those people at Feed My Starving Children volunteering. They're doing their hours.
Oh, they're what do you call it? Civic
punishment hours.
Yeah. Can't remember what
service hours.
Yeah, community, civil service, community service.
Because they were talking about, I was doing 100 on the highway. No, all of them don't talk like that. Some of them were like, yes, I was doing 100 on the highway when the officer came pursuing me.
But you can't have a British accent and drive 100 miles an hour. They have never seen 100 miles an hour.
Well,
they drive those Bentleys and stuff. Those don't go 100.
And I told the guys, and I know they've heard it from many judges, but I said, guys, when you're doing that, I'm bagging with them food. And I'm like, my mom's on the road.
Yeah.
and she can't cope with that stuff.
Yeah.
You guys zipping around,
Yeah.
and she might panic and make you hit her because she panicked.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, let's keep packing food.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a problem.
Mm. And so Friday night, sir, we had our first in our family engagement party. So Adam set up a whole thing.
Your son, Adam.
My son, Adam.
I'll fill in the blanks.
Yeah, thank you. He took her to the Lincoln Park Conservatory where there's plants.
Yes, plants.
He had his friend photographer. So when he proposed, the photographer could appear and they could take their pictures quick. He told me if you pay like $1,000 or more, you can, at the Field Museum, they'll put your coin in a glass case. And
like in the pyramid?
Did I say coin or ring?
You said coin.
Ring. They put your ring in a glass case with jewelry, and you walk up, and then you can.
Oh, in the jewelry room?
Yeah,
yeah, they've got that jewelry room.
Okay, yeah. So that's a thing you can do in Chicago
for $1,000.
Yeah, maybe $1,500.
For $500, you can come to my house. I will bake it into a pie with 4 and 20 blackbirds, which is a deal.
I'd like to see you keep those birds alive.
That's yeah. Well,
you didn't say alive.
It's hard to get them all in. Yeah. It's hard to get them all in there. Well, that sounds very nice. So this was set up. And then did you witness the proposal?
No, we met them at Kinsey's Chop House.
Ding, ding.
Downtown. Yeah. And then met her family. Wonderful little dinner. And then he had a bar and he had the room in the basement.
Oh, okay.
And his college friends and her college friends and coworkers were there.
Yeah. That sounds very nice.
It was.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Great time. And then Saturday, I had the much long anticipated high school gathering. So we haven't had a reunion in decades. In the class above me and my class, I had a friend from high school suggest, why don't we get something going? And you remember I put out evites, and it just kind of grew to where someone else would say, well, I had a picture of, or I have the email for so-and-so. Yeah, give it to me. And then someone would like email me later, hey, Dave, I got your evite last month. And I met Bob, and he mentioned it, he'd be interested. Would it be okay if he, and I said, yeah, let's invite Bob. Give me his email.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing wrong with Bob, right?
Yeah. Bob's okay.
Okay.
And
but if they asked you what about Tim?
Well, to be honest.
Really?
It didn't come up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It didn't come up. Well, we had a room limit though, too.
Oh, okay.
And everyone knew that.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that. We had a limit. That was in the initial invitation.
But I wonder if anybody, I mean, you didn't worry about people finding out about it and feeling left out.
No. And then the 2 days before, I had a dream that our friend Janine Leslie found me at school, at some school thing. We're adults. And she said something about it. Like, Dave, you didn't, I for real. And I said, Janine, I don't have your email. Yeah. You haven't emailed me, and someone would have to give it to me. Send it to me. I will get you on the list. Actually dreamt that. Yeah. 2 days before.
46-year reunion. God. Yeah. Aren't you glad you didn't know that beforehand?
Yeah.
You'd have gone in on your walker.
People were just saying, well, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what people would say? It's been a minute. Have you heard that expression?
I have.
What is that?
We don't do that.
Yeah,
do you do that? But people are starting to do that.
But people are starting to do that. Then my heater guy came the other day to check our furnace. He goes, hey, Jeff, it's been a minute. And I thought, what? Anyway, you had fun.
A blast.
Yeah. Good.
Absolute blast.
Good.
Laura came too and met some spouses. I had a lot of fun. They'd ring the buzzer to this clubhouse kind of party room in this condo of my friend. And then I would go down, I'd buzz them in and then head down the hall looking and trying to guess. I had the advantage. I knew the guest list.
Yeah.
Who was a yes.
Yeah.
So that helped. Like, oh, is that Phil? Phil, is that you? It's like, Dave? Yeah. Because you're right. It has been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
We had the last one.
And so some of these people you haven't seen for
decades.
Yeah.
Literally, but it didn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The years fell away.
Wow.
And then we're telling each other stories, and it's bringing back a lot of memories.
Yeah. I've got my 50-year reunion coming up this year.
Are they planning it?
They are planning one.
Okay. See, no
And
worries.
I'm really not thinking about going, but if I do go, I want to assume a persona because none of those people know me. So I want to make up a persona and go as something interesting.
Well, you are interesting.
I don't think so. So if any of our listeners have a good idea of who I could go as, obviously I could go as a spy, yeah, I'm a spy, but something interesting like ASL scenario designer.
Yeah, not gonna cut it.
Yeah. Big time podcaster, most important podcast.
Yeah, not gonna cut it.
Not gonna cut it. Yeah, maybe I'll just stay home.
Oh, and I did paint up the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, I love that
Scallywag model. I had it when I was a kid, and they reissued it with Jolly Roger or something or other. I don't think they call it pirates anymore because of the copyright thing, but they can be pirates of anything. So
the word pirate has been copyright.
No, of the Caribbean.
Oh, of the Caribbean. Okay,
right.
Yeah.
So now they're called like Jolly Roger Pirates or something.
Yeah.
But I like the little base of all the gold and jewels down there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
All right. Should we do the contest?
Oh, yes. Yes. What was the contest for? It was something really good.
Best of Friends 2.
Oh, yes.
Right here.
Yes. Excellent.
So, Jeff, if you would click onto the links of people that entered, it says giveaway on this sticky notes.
Right. Okay. Well, we only have 5 entries for this one.
5 Best of Friends 2,
but it makes it easy to get. So here we go. I'm going to roll my electronic die.
Oh, and it's Richard, Tom, Dingo, and Louie.
And I hit the reset button instead of the roll button. Okay, there we go. And it is 4.
Number 4, Richard, Tom, Dingo. You are the winner. You will send us your address, please. Your name is Jim. Jim from Boise, the ASL wasteland of Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. How cool is that?
Sorry to hear that, Jim, but now you'll have something to do.
Yeah.
In the ASL wasteland.
Yeah.
Give us your address. We'll get that out to you.
Yeah. Congratulations. And keep in touch with us. Let us know how it's going out there. How do you do what do you do in the wasteland of ASL? I assume you play Vassal, but.
So now the biggest news of the day. From Bounding Fire Productions.
Ding, ding, ding. Our very, very close friends. Good old, what's his name?
Dun, 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 dun.
Mannerheim Cross.
And that is Sam Tyson. We would never forget Sam's name.
Old Sam Tyson.
Yes. Young.
Good old Sam Tyson.
Yes. And so
Mannerheim Cross.
It will be a box art review, guaranteed. You can already tell.
Yeah, very nice cover.
Just kind of save it for later.
Striking.
Folks.
Yeah.
And Jeff, what do you got in that box? First, what do you want to tell me about it? Anything you got?
Well, it's huge. I'll read you from the back page, which is always gives us a little overview. Bounding Fire Productions number 6, Mannerheim Cross, takes an expansive and encompassing look at the various Finnish offensive and defensive military actions that occurred over the course of World War II. Mannerheim Cross will give players the feel of the challenging military situation Finland faced in World War II, initially fighting a defensive war against the Soviet Union called the Winter War, and later going on to the offensive against the Soviets called the Continuation War, in conjunction with Germany's Operation Barbarossa. Despite their small size, Finnish forces, now it says despite their small size, were they short?
They were very short people.
They were very short people, yeah. Yes. Little people.
Yeah, the leprechauns helped them out.
We'd like to welcome you to Mannerheim Cross. Despite their small size, Finnish forces were skilled and fought fiercely, utilizing knowledge of the terrain and taking advantage of winter conditions to their advantage. However, Finland's position was precarious as they sought to maintain their independence while navigating the pressures of both the Soviet Union and Germany, which is unique.
Hate to be stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, talk about that. That is so true. So This is a very big pack. This is a great pack. 44 action pack scenarios. Even if you don't play them, they're action packed. 560 full color counters, 325 that's half inch counters, 325 5/8 inch counters, a 16 by 22 double sided map board, a 16 by 11 half wide map board, three 8 by 22 inch geomorphic map boards. How come we're still doing inches? How come we haven't gone centimeters and
We're
millimeters?
America.
Say no more. They're changing the word inches to America measurements. Numerous player aids, thank goodness. Several articles covering winter weather, Molotov cocktails, etc. Rule pages covering special units. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. It's a very nice pack. Map board design was by Chaz Smith and Rick Reinich and Brian Martusas, David Lamb, Robert Hammond, Gene Thompson,
Robert Hammond,
and Jerry Mathers as the Beaver.
Yeah, that's right. And in that package, Jeff, you get this wonderful chart. Now, what I'm going to see on this chart is basically a summary on this side of the new Terrain Time fortified pillboxes. So you get a rundown of what makes them unique here, points to remember, as well as the FPB fortified pillbox. Oh, we did that up here too. So you get that here. Well, and then the combat of it down here.
So pillboxes are not fortified. I'm scraping my memory here.
They are a fortification.
They are fortifications.
These are fortified fortifications.
Oh, I see. So okay. Thank you for that. In the
Mannerheim line, we're really dug in.
Okay.
So, and I'll get into some detail later. The pillbox cupola, or do you say cupola?
I say cupola.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the weapon status chart for the fortified pillboxes, connected movement charts for moving from the covered focal, the pillboxes, etc., all the different options you have here, and the leader action tables that would go with the rules, which I don't know what that is yet, and movement table to advance, to route, or to move, if yes or no to it, from it. Just quick little charts.
For advancing to the fortified pillboxes.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be, can you enter it from the hex? Can you enter it from outside the hex? Can you go from the tunnel to the pillbox? And which phase? It's all there now. And I found inside the magazine, they are covering a lot of winter, another look at winter. So it's like a whole article about handling snow, falling snow, deep snow. Here's the terrain, winter weather chart, giant thing, winter camo, LV hindrance, smoke effects and snow.
Wow.
Yep. What we want to know about vehicle movement. Well, yeah, read that line. What does smoke have an effect in deep snow? Oh, let's look. Here it is, smoke, not applicable here when it's wet, etc. And then some more high explosives and deep snow charts, infantry and snow movement table, prepared fire zones. Now we got those rules in a previous product. I think it's officially ASL now. I think it was Hakapale. But here's a chart now that we haven't had before for the effects on various terrain types. So you can quickly glance at that. A critical hits table sounds like a Spilky chart. Hit or elimination versus pillboxes and the occupants of a pillbox. Is it a brown for a pillbox? Is it a gray? Is it a fortified pillbox? New terrain. What happens to the occupants of the pillbox? What fire type was it? And was it a mortar? And on the other back side, we get anti-tank boulders. This is a totally new terrain. We'll cover that in detail as a terrain time.
Sorry, what was that? Anti-tank
boulders. So instead of digging anti-tank ditches, they put giant boulders into the ground. Yep, deliberately.
I learned something new today.
You got them scattered
I
all around. Why not move them between the two forests, in the opening between the forest? Haul them all in there. Try and block it.
Okay, interesting.
They were only partially successful, as we'll find out in our terrain time. Infantry movement factor tables and bog die rolls and ATB. I don't even know what that is actually. Oh, anti-tank boulder. So all the charts you need to go with it Okay, so I haven't investigated all that yet. And what else do we get there, Jeff?
We've got vehicle notes.
Pages of notes.
And as I read this, typical of me, I thought Mannerheim Cross vehicle notes. And I thought, wonder what cross vehicles are.
They're mean vehicles.
Mannerheim Cross.
They're grumpy
vehicle. Yeah, maybe they're cross. They're cross. So there's Russian vehicle notes here for some special Russian vehicles.
They do have some new ones. They have some modified ones,
which are fun. Always fun to look at. Just one page of those, but there's maybe 8 vehicles on there. This really impressed me. The aircraft notes for both Finnish and Russian aircraft. Lots of aircraft. So that's going to be some tasty
There's some
reading.
biplanes in there too. And early like World War I planes that were still being used.
Oh, really?
Early in the Winter War.
There's more vehicle notes than I thought. I guess I got them separated. So.
Oh yeah. There's more Russians there.
Lots of Russian vehicle notes, probably 6 pages there, maybe 8, including the backs.
Some with special covered arc notes, it looks like.
Yes, it looks like. I just noticed that on one.
Oh, yeah. Covered arc kind of things. We see those before,
yeah.
But yeah, nice to have.
Lots of cool stuff. Lots of more detail. For those of you who just can't get enough of the detail, there's more here. And then vehicle notes for the Finns as well.
Some new Finnish vehicles and some rewritten
and some
ones.
Ordnance. I haven't looked at these at all.
Guns, yes.
There's some captured stuff here. There's some captured Russian and German stuff here. That doesn't seem fair.
Hey, you captured it. Turn it on the previous owner.
Yeah, that doesn't seem fair. That should be against the law.
Well, also, I have a few sheets that we won't go into detail with the rules. So when we hit a terrain time, you're going to get 3 sheets of the anti-tank boulder rules, the pillbox fortified rules, of course, the cupola rules. Now these cupolas sit on the pillboxes, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're built into them.
Oh, okay.
Some new Russian units, being the Marines, are in here. Some new fascine rules. Again, we're not going to deep dive on those yet.
What is a fascine? I've seen that. I've seen the term.
Oh, yeah. It's when you have a bundle of straw or wood tied all together and you want to lay it into usually a ditch to fill the ditch to drive your tank over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's for driving over.
Yeah.
It looks like something, and like I say, I've just seen the term. Looks like something you fire through because there are some counters here. I got some counters. It looks like a fence that you fire through, but
it's a bundle of wood.
We'll find out more.
No, you lay it in a trench, and in this case, I know that they have a rule for laying down 2 of them.
Oh,
in original ASL, once you lay 1 in, you filled the trench or river, or a stream, gully, and you can tank over it easy. In this game, some of them you had to lay 2 now, so they have special rules for that.
You mean these are not the first fascine counters that I've ever seen before?
No, but they're probably the first one. Yeah, I'm sure you've never played with those.
I have never played with those.
I have, because I had to play everything in order.
Yes, of course.
For quite a while.
I skipped around. I'm just like a vagabond.
Yeah.
A rapscallion.
Yeah. What else you got on that count?
Other on the counter sheet. So there's the Russian Marines, which that's the first time we've seen Russian Marines, right?
I think so. Yes. Those are definitely counters from Broken Ground, I would say.
Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe Alan Finley helped with the layout or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. And then fascine, and then some mine rollers, which looks cool.
And broken ones, right? To mark them if you broke your mine roller.
Yeah.
On your tank.
On the tank. And it looks like, just judging from what I'm seeing on the, there's a bunch of leader counters, both Russian and Finnish.
They're the historical names.
They are. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Do you have any 8, something look like a hero? Panzerfaust hero or anti-tank hero or something?
I do see one here that looks like
side.
Yep, on the Finnish side, a 139.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover those in the rules. And I got a sheet here of the Russian vehicles that are new. They do the usual Bounty and Fire production planes up with the color counters here and some guns. And I looked up some of that is again, some are new, some are modified from the ASL versions or the MMP version, and a whole sheet for fins, including the new pillboxes, fortified pillboxes, and the planes again in color. And on there's some drift counters that are new design, and the AT boulders are on the back of those. And this new thing here, which I don't know anything about yet, except it's a Russian vehicle barge. And these apparently came in different sizes and could carry different size vehicles across the rivers.
Oh, wow.
So they're barges for getting vehicles across the river. Yeah, fascinating. Now, one other set of counters, which are again the usual Bounty and Fire or Broken Ground style of giving us some uniqueness to them. So you get a set of the support weapon first fire counters, the advancing fire counters we've seen before in some games.
Yeah.
From Bounty and Fire, for sure. And then your no APR, no AP, no smoke, and no WP, but they're color coded in each row. So it must be a way to sort them and keep track of them. And then these main armament fired counters, or did your BMG fire? Then you put that on it, or your CMG. You got that. I've seen similar before, but it's a lot of them to use the whole complement. And then you have the all MGs fired counter. So you can place that. There are markers for vehicle bypass movement. Which side did your tank move across?
Oh, okay.
I guess it's probably a memory device or
yeah.
And then some turrets with the motion on them, turrets with reverse motion on them. So you don't have to place both the turret counter and the motion counter. Right. So it's the way of combining the different counters too to make it less.
I don't need to do that because I have such an excellent memory.
Yeah. Well, there's some leader prisoner counters with the actual stats of the leader on it. So you don't have to write down on a side note, is that my 8-0 or my 9-1? And I think I'm going out on a limb. This looks like the Broken Ground Fanatic. No, Berserk. Counters.
Oh, okay.
Original squad leader, apparently, you had some red counters you put down if they went Berserk. Alan made a set. We have them in that extra set of counters over there. And then here they are again now for probably to go with the nationalities in this set, I would guess. Some markers to mark where the Allies enter on the board as well. And crew exposed tank counters with the leader on it too. So you don't have to put a crew exposed and the leader on it. 2 in 1. 2 counters in 1.
Brilliant.
Indeed.
Brilliant.
And then, Jeff, I'm going to bet, looking at my watch, that we are going to be having a full show in a minute here.
And I have I've got one last sheet, which is, well, there's 2 sheets here. I suppose one for each player, which shows the fortified pillboxes and the various configurations that they come in. And you can see the red arrows are lines of fire, I suppose, you can fire slits out of, and also the slits you can fire out of. And also then there's the stats for firing into those. So for instance, on this one, it's a 368. That means the fortified pillbox can hold 3 squads, and it's 6 to fire through the red hex sides and 8 through any of the other hex sides. So they come in different configurations.
And those match these on the gray counter sheet. Okay. So I have the same counter here on a pillbox counter, like a small one. So if you put that on your board and you try to put 3 squads on it and show which squads are looking out.
Yep.
You can't do it on the board. You got to put it on the side player aid. Yeah. So that's fantastic.
Very cool.
Next show, I'll go into the detail on how those work and we'll read it together. I highlighted the magazine. And now we'll look at the board. Jeff, what can you tell me from the What do they tell us actually about this board?
They tell us in the magazine, this is BFP Board S. This was designed by Chaz Smith. This board was initially designed at least 15 years before the publication of Mannerheim Cross. The goal was a different type of village surrounded by woods. BFPS went through modifications over the years as we started, stopped, and restarted Mannerheim Cross several times. Testard had very positive comments as it provided a much different and new feel. Bounding Fire Productions, BFPS can also be used in nearly any theater in some fashion.
Indeed.
Which is great. It's BFPT. This board was designed by Alan Findlay. Alan did a great job on this board. It's a semi-historical ASL geoboard depicting the area of the tourist hotel for scenario BFP 152, no vacancy. However, the board has a lot of applicability and can be used in a variety of actions. The only building is the hotel. An overlay or terrain counters placed on the hotel transform this into a wilderness board with no buildings. Wonder if that hotel is still there. Then BFP Board U by Don Petros. This board may appear simplistic at first glance. However, it perfectly fits the terrain for finished scenarios and, of course, has applicability in most theaters. The terrain is restrictive, but not to the extent of Board 52. This creates more interesting tactical situations for both sides and becomes valuable in scenario development. Don did a great job designing this board.
Who am I, Jeff?
Kilroy.
Yeah.
Very nice, Dave. But better, Kilroy, but better looking. More three-dimensional. And DW10.
Is this like those boards we always screw up?
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's why
No.
I thought it's not reversible.
No, it's not.
That's DW10 A and B.
Yeah, so you got A first?
No, it just says DW10, but it says,
oh yeah, go ahead.
DW10 was not specifically designed to replicate battles in the Finnish theater, other than being urban light. The design continues our double wide series, following the pattern of Bounding Fire Productions, providing something different.
Here you go. Here's where it's double wide because they only fit together because of, you know how the edges are usually geomorphic, tree.
Right.
Do I have that right?
You do not.
How about, do I have it right?
No, but you're getting farther away. I'd say flip the bottom one.
Oh, do I?
That works. There we go. There we go. This board can be used for any type of urban battle. The buildings are spread out a little, offering tactical challenges with interesting line of sight, as well as our previously designed multi-material buildings. The stream and the bridge in the middle provide a way to separate the board into halves. That is, the scenario is fought on one side of the stream, or the battle could focus on the bridge itself.
Cool.
And then finally, HW1, and those were designed by Chaz. I don't know if I said that. HW1 is a semi-historical ASL board.
These are the ones we always screw up.
Based on pictures of the terrain of the defensive positions on the Mannerheim line. The board is a great fit for the Finnish theater. A feature of HW1 is no buildings and minimal roads, making this a wilderness board. Players will battle on the terrain that gives the exact feel of the historical terrain. HW1 can be used in almost any theater. Dave is not a fan of these because he's afraid of bear attacks all the time.
I am.
He doesn't like.
I'm sure we covered the bear attacks.
Yeah, I'm sure we have.
in our 200, 300, almost 360.
Yeah, 360
career.
Episodes. We can't tell you which one. You'll just have to listen.
That's right.
To all of them again.
Or we have to release the chart of what's in a show, which I know I keep telling you I'm almost done, and I'm almost done.
I believe you. So there it is. Beautiful boards, beautiful counters, beautiful new rules. Great product.
And we'll get into those rules in detail upcoming next show. But we're also I'll be coming home from Kansas City March Madness ASL tourney with a lot of interviews. So we'll see how we'll break those up.
Great.
You know, maybe a whole show of interviews or this and that. But before we go, how about we take a look at the Winter Offensive Pack 14? I did a little deep dive, about 9 minutes.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Hello again. This is Winter Offensive Bonus Pack number 14. It's got a nice work of art. It's acceptable on that for a bonus pack WO. This puppy comes with 2 boards. I know we're behind on covering all this, but better late than never. Right, Aaron?
Yup.
And so we see we have 2 boards. You got board 89 and you've got the milestone of 90. So board 89 is an interesting one. It's got a very long town that goes across the entire, practically the entire board on 1/3 of the board, with a gully running alongside the town, a pond at one end, and then a lot of crop area grain across the rest of the board. Roads run mostly at an angle across it, and it's got shell holes, so it's already pre-shell holed for you. Board 89 and 90, another lots of grain board and open space. 90, it's got scattered small clumps of woods, 1 or 2 hexes wide open middle ground. There's a gully across a 1/3 or 1/4 of the board, running hex row H basically across it, and then grain and orchard along it, and wide open lines of sight there too. Hindrances for grain and orchard, but it's not cluttered up with anything else really. Very small hedge over there. And this pack comes with scenarios. So you got Hell's Headache, WO43. And this one takes place in Russia, July 1942. It's a peach shelling effort. And the victory conditions are: Russians win by amassing more victory points than the Germans. You get them by each friendly mobile AFV on board 89, 1 board at the game end is worth 1 victory point. Prisoners are worth their normal, but not, you do get credit for them, but not double value. Each building controlled on or between L and R is worth 1 victory point. Each building controlled between S and A is worth 2 victory points to the Russians. And each building controlled on or between E and K is worth 2 victory points to the Germans. So they're kind of dividing this town up, basically saying the Germans really want to try to hold on between E and K, the front end of this town. And then the Soviets really want to push to take S and AA down here, that end of the town. 6-turn game. Germans set up honories to K with 9 squads, an AT gun, and the usual mortar and some machine guns. 4 trenches. Yeah, 4 trenches. And the Soviets will be setting up on west of I. 16 squads, first line and conscripts. Commissar in there with the leaders. And same thing, mortar, light machine guns, ATR, MMGs. And then entering on turn 3, north or side east of view is 6 more German squads, more machine guns, and 2 Stugs and a Panzer 3G entering, while the Soviets also are getting reinforcements coming on. 3 squads and 2 T-60s, I think, and a T-34 M41. The Germans can deploy up to 4, less than or equal to 4 squads prior to setup. That gives them more deployment options. And 426 Soviets rallied by a commissar go up to 527s. Hell's Headache, WO43. And that scenario has 36 German victories and only 16 Russian victories. So you might want to give the balance to the Russians, maybe even a little bit more. Then we have WO44, Little Village. Little Village, that's going to be using both of the new boards, 89 and 90. This is Ukraine, 1943, July 8th. It has the victory conditions provided. They control greater than or equal to 20 building locations. The Germans win immediately upon having greater than or equal to 8 good order squad equivalents on board 89 and hexes numbered less than equal to 9 between H and T. H and T. So that's the city board again, the specific area. 8 turns, well, 7.5. The Russians set up on 89 and trenched and in hexes greater than equal to 6 on board 90. They get dozens squads and usual machine guns and mortar ATRs and 2T-34 M41s, a big old artillery gun 76L, AT gun 57LL, and another one 45LL. And then they get the points to spend. So the special scenario rules: bridges are wooden and will collapse on a die roll greater than or equal to 11. And trenches and gullies count as buildings for route and rally. This is designed by Don Petros. The Russians can spend the 40 points on these fortification tables. Just your usual stuff: wire, AP mines, AT mines, concealments, anti-tank ditches, and due to superior German reconnaissance, that stuff must be on board, not hip. The T-34s are dug in and must set up on a road, and they can use hip as Manny and all other Russian units set up on the same road. Russians have Molotovs and level C booby traps and can use commissars and are immune to countering. Eligible German vehicles can have Schwerzen, and assault engineers are the 548s and ELR-5. They have VR Elite. Entering passengers kept on a cloaking display can unload until they unload or take a morale check, task check. No quarter in effect. Germans then are entering on or after turn 1 on the north edge, the long edge of board 90, and 16 squads, flamethrower, 2 DCs, the usual machine guns for that amount of Germans, and a Panzer 6E with the 88L. It's nice. The Panzers 4, 2 of those, and 2 Panzer 3s, and then the personnel carriers, the armored carriers. So that is WO44, Little Village. And the last scenario is by Pete Schelling, and it's WO45, Better Than Nothing. Better Than Nothing. It's got a night picture on it cover there, but I don't see night rules here. Looks like a night picture. That is Hungary, 1944, board 90. Russians will win by amassing more VP. Both sides get exit VP. Exception: German AFE do not count. Russian AFE, including the crew with functioning main armament, are worth 3 or 2 without for exiting off the east edge. And additionally, each side gains victory points to the CVP value of its good order units beneath trenches at game end. Prisoners do not count in either case. So you want to be in the trenches, it seems. Grain is in season, and trenches are treated as woods for route and rally purposes. Also, the Germans start in the trenches, honor between rows RX. Trenches set up between D and G, and units in suitable terrain may set up entrenched. 9 squads, Shrek, 5 trench counters. And pick one, either a mortar 81 or an AT gun 50L. And then entering on turn 4 on the east edge, this 2 Stugs. And then this guards cav sets up on or west of roll AA with 16 squads, because I guess they're going to have to move to get into those trenches the Germans looks like to start with. 2 M1A2 American tanks. Looks like Lend-Lease, and then entering on the west edge, turn 3 is S1 SU-76L. But that looks interesting too, battling it out for the trenches and for exiting points. And so that is what you get in Action Pack 14.
Very good, Dave.
That's-
You make it sound so tasty.
Well, it is. Nice, tight little scenarios.
Yeah. Great.
And board. So we'll call it a show.
It's a show.
Yep. Until next time, boys and girls.
Thank you for listening, and remember to roll low,
Roll low, and
rally well.
but not when you're playing us on leprechauns.
Yeah.
That's my. I've lost my Irish. Can you still do an Irish?
Well, roll low and rally well, but not when you're playing as leprechauns.
Thank you for saving that.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. And goodbye to your little pirate guy. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I noticed that you painted a nice matching shirt and trouser ensemble.
From like the British.
Yeah.
Why is it always a British guy, Captain?
They're the bad guys. Unless they're the good guys. They're the bad guys.